What's up everyone, this is Let's Talk About It with Aaron E, and that's me. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of the Canon R3, just a short review. Later on, I'll probably do a more in-depth review. So in this review, I'm going to do some pros and cons and some of my favorite features of the camera. This Canon R3 is not their newest camera. The R7 is one of their newest cameras, but it's more of an entry-level, intermediate. This is very professional. This is for sports enthusiasts and professionals. So no way means necessary would I recommend this to a beginner. Not at all. I'm a professional photographer for years, and in the first few months me using this, I was scratching my head going, holy moly. This camera has no auto feature to it. Everything is manual, but that's what makes this camera so amazing. So with the Canon R3, it's 24 megapixels. It uses their newly dual stacked backlit sensor, which is new for Canon. Which just means you get unbelievably amazing performance. So once again, 24 megapixels on the resolution. So using their new backlit dual stacked sensor, you'll actually do 6K video, which is mind-blowing. Right now I'm shooting in 4K at 30 just because my computer's kind of limited to that for editing purposes, which sucks. Really sucks. So, excuse me. But back to the Canon R3. So once again, 24 megapixels. This will do 30 frames a second electronically, photo-wise, and it will do around 12 frames a second electronically, which is mind-blowingly fast still for for mechanical. So I find that to be amazing. What makes this camera so special is the speed. Like I said, to 30 frames a second. This will auto track subjects like animals, people, things like that. And then also this has eye detection tracking, and I'll go over that in my pros and cons. So basically, this is just like I said, a quick review of the camera. High resolution, extremely fast speed, and just overall an insane video quality camera. So now with this Canon R3, I want to go over the pros and cons. Okay, so I want to be able to go over some of the pros and cons of this camera. So I'm going to start with the pros, of course. First is unbelievably amazing quality. Like I said, 30 frames a second, extremely fast. So I wrote some of these down, easier for me to remember. So, first of all, the build quality is unbelievably amazing. This has the vertical grip built into the camera, so it's very easy to hold, and this is unbelievably amazing build quality. I've been in the beach, I've been in some rough areas, and this thing still looks like brand new. Mind-blowing on the build quality, so Canon, great job on making this thing a beast when it comes to quality and build quality in the feel. This new material that they put on it just makes it very easy to hold in the hands, and I think that is great. So build quality, amazing. This uses, once again, their new sensor on it with the 24 megapixels, and like I said, I can shoot at an ISO of above 50,000 ISO, and so low light quality is mind-blowingly amazing. So for the pros, 24 megapixels, new sensor, that dual stack sensor that's backlit, new sensor from Canon, unbelievably amazing. So good low light quality in nighttime, high ISO, excuse me, and very good build quality. So the other thing is once again, this camera does 30 frames a second, which is mind-blowingly fast. So 30 frames a second on speed electronically, 12 frames a second mechanically, so mind-blowingly fast. So that's one of the things I love about this. And then what's insane is that this has a feature which can track animals, cars, and people automatically. You program it, you put it into the settings, and then it will automatically lock onto the subject for you. And then you just start firing away, and it can track that subject as it's moving. You just have to properly pan it, which is called panning techniques, and you will get a mind-blowingly amazing photo. So 30 frames a second, with the new technology, with the car tracking, the people tracking, the animal tracking, is really intelligent, and it does a very good job. The last thing that makes this camera crazy on the pros aspect is this has an eye tracker in it. So this will actually look at my eye and see where I am looking. And so I can lock onto a subject so much faster. That is genius. That is not new technology. It was around actually in film cameras, but it kind of faded out. And then they digitally revamped it in this camera and made it amazing. So those are my pros. As far as the cons. Whew, okay. With this body and this lens, it wound up costing me around $7,000. That is not a price point that I'm too happy with. I wish it could be $1,000 less, but there is a lot of time and effort that Canon put into this camera, so there's a reason why it has that price point. So, little steep on the price point, not too happy about that. So that's one of the things I don't like. The second thing, it is a little bit big and bulky. Now, to me personally, that's not bad. But to someone who has small hands or to someone that wants something really lightweight, this has a little bit of weight to it. But honestly, as far as a pro, again, it is lightweight. If you compare it to the 1DX, the previous camera to this camera, that was kind of heavy. So this is way lighter than that. So great for that. But once again, what would be a con to other people, they would say is, oh man, this body is way too bulky. Sony's are a heck of a lot smaller. What's going on here? In my personal opinion, I like how it feels. So could that be a con to certain people? That's why I'm saying in a con that it's a little bit big, so I could understand that. So the other thing is mirrorless in general. I still feel like even though this is a big camera and it uses a massive battery, I still feel that mirrorless can improve on overall battery performance. On my Canon 6D, and I'll show you the battery difference in a minute, but as far as my Canon 6D, with a battery grip and 2 batteries, I could actually get 12 plus hours out of both batteries. This only allows you to put 1 battery in it, not 2, because it's built into the body of the battery grip. It's built into the camera, like the 1DX. This, I want to say, the max I was able to get was actually 8 hours of shooting while turning it on and off. If I had it in standby, I got around 5 hours of shooting. So Canon did put their bigger battery into it. And it also depends on what you're shooting as well. That does make a difference. But I would say overall, from a mirrored camera versus mirrorless, I still feel like mirrored cameras, DSLRs still have better battery performance. So even with this big battery, like I said, just to me, it's still not up to par for the price point and what I wish it could be. But I know as years are to go down the road, we're going to have better batteries. So to me, just because mirrorless in general is always using the sensor to be a lot quicker and a lot faster, it is going to use up more battery because of that. So because of that nature, not a true fan of mirrorless in battery performance, and the reason why this battery is so big is to kind of make up for that. So those are kind of my cons when it comes to the camera, and now I'm going to go over some of my favorite features of this camera. I want to be able to demonstrate the eye tracking, and for the setup on my camera, I have it set for the center button. You can customize it how you want, but mine is set by the set. So I'm going to press this once, and then it's going to say eye tracking is on. I know I haven't done a full calibration, it will work better, but I'm just kind of demonstrating how you turn on the eye tracking, and now we're going to take a look at that. Okay, so with the eye control feature, basically I am going to activate it, and then basically where my eye is looking is where that is going. So where that is going is where my eye is looking, and then I want to just be able to put the yellow dot where I want to look, and then lock onto the subject, and boom, locks onto the subject. That is absolutely insane. So it's looking at my eye, seeing where I'm going, and then I am able to just move it a little bit, and then boom, lock onto the subject. I think that is just so cool. How I can just touch it, and then it automatically focuses and takes the photograph. So that is another really cool feature that I like. The touchscreen, I think that's cool. This little thumb pad right here, this one right near the AF on button, tap it once, it activates. I have it set up that way, and basically you can see that green dot, and wherever my thumb goes is actually where I can tell it to focus. So if I'm right here, that green is telling me it's in focus, I can press the button and it will focus on the lamp. Now if I want to be able to go over to the speaker here, you can see that it's not in green. So I'm going to take this, and you can see those three dots, three triangles are not all positioned together. So when I slowly put it here and I move it, and then I get to green, now it's actually in focus. And so now if I want to move somewhere else, I just tap, and then it locks onto the photograph, and then it's going to take the photo. And then let's say, once again, I now want to move it over here. So I want to move it here. It's not quite in focus, so I'm going to move it. Oops. Until it gets into focus. Let me try again. And boom. Now it's in focus. So that's really cool. And then I can move this around and I can still see where my subject is in focus and not in focus. So I think that joystick is amazing. So the one thing I want to be able to show you is the speed of this camera. So I'm going to go into mechanical, which is 12 frames a second. I'm going to actually take my mic off. Hear the camera better. Okay, and so now this is 12 frames a second mechanically. And you can see that those blue squares were able to lock onto the target instantly. That is awesome. Now, I am going to, Now, I'm going to do electronic shutter, the electric shutter, the mirrorless, which is 30 frames a second. Absolutely mind-blowingly fast. I'm gonna do that again. So that was 30 frames a second. The crazy thing is, I'm going to do it again. It says I have such a fast memory card here. I'm going to turn the camera off. And boom, it's already on the memory card. Now this is actually hot, but this is the compact flash, the extreme card, 1700 megabytes a second. That's why this thing is so blistering fast, and that's why I was able to have no buffer on this thing almost whatsoever. So this uses the 1DX battery. On the Canon 60, it wound up using this battery here. Hold on. It wound up using this battery here. And this battery is the LPE6N. So that's the LPE6N battery. That was for my, once again, Canon 60. And then this bad boy is the LPE19. So just to show you size-wise, comparison-wise, gigantic. Yeah. So massive difference in battery size, which is insane. Once again, this is built into the battery grip of the camera. So to say what is insane is this battery is 7.2 volts. This battery is 10.8 volts. That's crazy. Huge difference on battery size. So you can kind of just see a wee bit of a difference. And I just think that is actually kind of cool. Okay, one last thing I want to do for you is I want to show you a quick clip on what this camera looks like in the 4K and 30, just so you can see that difference. So I'm going to switch cameras and I'm going to quickly show you what 4K 30 looks like. Okay, I wanted to be able to do just a quick video demo using the R3, of course. So this is 4K and 30 frames a second, just because, once again, my computer can't handle the 60 frames. Boo. So I just wanted to show you the clarity difference, and even as I get closer, this tracking is insane. So the fact that this tracking can lock onto me like that is just really, really cool. I'm gonna even go even crazier, lock onto me like that. Look, it's gonna refocus. Boom, that focusing is so fast. And then once again, it's on me. So just to show you how crazy the difference is from this versus the cell phone, that's why once again, these professional cameras, I think, still dominate versus a cell phone. So this is just a video clip demonstration using the R3. All right, everyone. So there you have it. This is my review, short review for the Canon R3. I'll do a more in-depth review later on. It'll probably be back in 1080. Just because once again, I still enjoy 1080 because it's easier to work with, but eventually when I get a better computer and better software, then I could probably shoot in 4K. So once again, please hit the like and subscribe button down below, helps me out in a big way. Once again, I've gone over just some of my favorite features of the camera and my pros and cons of this Canon R3. So once again, hit the like and subscribe button down below if you haven't already, helps me out in a big way. And guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.